Hey Zalivas, this is SuperZomGBBQ! We have the second part of our throwback into Season 1 looking at the Survivor and the WrestleMania cards. Obviously, I hope you guys enjoyed the first one, which is actually going to show up on the right-hand side of the page right now. If you didn't see it already, give it a look up and get it checked out before you watch this video. Otherwise, if you haven't already, I hope you enjoy and I'll speak to you guys later. Survivor Tier is where I really kicked off the game. I started playing the game a lot more when I got the news that Sting was coming in. I had played a couple of the Survivor PCCs beforehand, but when I get into a couple of stories, as you can see, I've got some of my Road to Glory rewards here. You got a Batista, you got the Bad News Barrett. And this is really where the dynamic of the game changed, because in Season 1, you had the first event, which is a Brock Lesnar card. I'm going to talk more about that in another video series I've got starting up, which was like the only one you could get. You were like the one person, if you won that, who had a card that was ridiculously overpowered and could be pretty much beaten by anything. And then after that, they increased the PCC number to 5. And you think it was crazy, people getting like 20,000, 30,000 points in PCCs nowadays? You look at the 50, 60,000 points people almost were getting to get cards like Sting, The Rock, Daniel Bryan. It was insane. Just go back, look through YouTube and just see if you can find them. They are awesome. Although, I'll be honest with you, there were a lot of times that people didn't really post stuff on YouTube about getting the best rewards. There was a lot of people who didn't YouTube at that point, especially the top players. Weren't into YouTube or claiming their PCC rewards at that point, so you don't really get to see a lot of those cards being claimed, whereas nowadays it's almost commonplace. So yeah, that's crazy. But again, talking about luck, AJ Lee was one of my first Survivor cards I pro'd. I think the first one was a Jimmy Uso. No, my first is Brie Bella. Again, luck. I think I got Brie Bella, then I got Jimmy Uso, and then I got AJ Lee, which is like completely sorted out my divas. And then afterwards, I think I got a Nikki Bella, which gave me like a diva tag. But back then in King of the Rings, you didn't need diva tags. You just basically needed Brie Bella or AJ Lee, and you pretty much won every game against Nikki Bella, and you were good. Bo Dallas as well. This was a funny card. I have to admit, this one actually made me laugh a lot back in the day. Almost the same as Fandango's card, which you'll see in a minute. But look at just the difference in his stats. His charisma is just OTT, and the rest of it is like... I mean, if you just took this card now and put it into Survivor tier in Season 2, you just have people with like almost 3,000 of like charisma just running around Bo Dallas just going... Booker T as well. Booker T was one of my first other cards. I think it's my 4th or 5th pro. Bray Wyatt was actually an event card, and he's actually the common Bray Wyatt on the Season 2 of SuperCard. I never got Bradshaw card in their throwbacks, which is crazy. This is the Brie Bella, which I think is one of the best Brie Bellas that's in the game. Again, I wish I'd taken her across. Bray Wyatt as well, never got to pro him. Brock Lesnar, now this is actually a very popular card that's been transferred over from Season 1 to Season 2. Look at the difference in the event card stats compared to from now compared to then. Absolutely insane. Bushwhacker Butch actually had a really, really good card, especially in charisma, and he was actually really, really awesome. Cesaro, I actually reset my WrestleMania pool on this. If you go back to the end of WrestleMania, I actually accidentally reset my count on Ring Domination by going back into Survivor tier. Chris Jericho, this is the one I transferred over to get me the Chris Jericho image in Season 2. Dave Mizdow as well. This is Biggie Dude's favourite card. Biggie Dude actually has one of the most popular WWE SuperCard videos ever. Go back and watch it. In fact, I might even link it into the video. If you have a look, my God, Damon Mizdow's card, he's actually very famous just for that reaction alone. I don't think he realised at the time that Mizdow was not a great card. Then they updated and they changed his arrow as well, so he tagged with the Miz. He was actually one of my first other Survivor pros as well. I was really happy when I got that card as a pro. It just reminds me of going back to the days where you didn't open packs to buy everything, but nowadays pretty much everyone does, so you don't really have a chance. Daniel Bryan, here we go. So we've got one of the first fusion cards from Survivor tier. People went crazy for these things, and this is what I think is coming into Season 2 very, very, very soon. Daniel Bryan on that Daniel Bryan card. If you go and speak to Kill Must Kill or to Monty. Both of them have that card, and it is one of the best cards, I think, design-wise in the game. People literally didn't sleep for that card for like 3 or 4 days. Dean Ambrose here as well in the event card, and also you have the Dean Ambrose for the Survivor card as well. All the Shield's cards are pretty average, by the way, in Survivor tier. You think now they're some of the best cards in the tier, if not mid-tier. Some of them, like Roman Reigns, was one of the worst in Survivor tier, which is crazy. Dolph Ziggler, I've never actually seen anyone with this Dolph Ziggler been taken across. But this Dolph Ziggler here is one that's regularly used. He had a really awesome card. Let's just bring it up again so you guys can see it. I wasn't a fan of the way they'd edited it, but if you transfer over to Season 2, he actually looks a lot better. So it might have been an issue with the stock image or something. Now we get to the Divas, because you got like sort of Emma, you got Eva Marie as well. So you had a lot of different Divas in at this game. Eric Rowan, who was actually pretty decent in this tier. Eve, who was a pain in the arse. So was Natalia in this tier. Goldust had his own event card against Stardust. Stardust card has probably got the record of being one of the worst event cards going. I think Goldust is more like an anti-Sting card, I think. If I'm right, correct me if I'm wrong. Hollywood Hulk Hogan as well, who oddly actually tags with normal Hulk Hogan, which is a little bit crazy. His charisma is just completely out of this world. Hollywood Hogan had his own event card as well. It was the first PCC, or first event of Survivor tier, which is against Sting, and he got absolutely mauled. My first Survivor Pro, Jimmy Uso. John Cena, this is when the Fusion started coming out, when this John Cena card was available. That John Cena card below hand, you had to pay 60,000 games to get the pro version of it, and you couldn't get him otherwise. And that's something which I think they miss a lot in Season 2, is the exclusivity of having cards. Everyone's got the same cards, whereas if you had one person or 10, 15 people who had a card that was just out of this world, instead of it being fusions, I would say we're better to have it in PCC rewards or something. But that's just me. Not sure. Never got a Survivor Kane. Very, very strange. $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Here. This card, Luke Harper event card, was actually pretty decent. This card, however, oh my god. Its speed was actually under 2,000, which is incredible. It was one of the worst cards, if not, I think, the worst card in Survivor tier. It is an Natalia that was a pain in the arse. Then we had the thing that changed everything. We had the Road to Glory Nikki Bella. After this event, they released the Fusions last time, which is why my prediction is they're going to release the Fusions now. They got the Nikki Bella here, which is the Fusion card. This is Rick Rude, who got dubbed as Ring Shing Dude in the WWE 2K forums. There's a guy in there who couldn't spell to save his life, or was using spell check, and it just came up with Ring Shing Dude instead of Ravishing Rick Dude. Rick Rude, anyway. Rey Mysterio, who was one of the best cards in the tier, top 10, I believe. Damn, his speed was on point. And that was when I believe he stopped wrestling for WWE, so since then he had no cards. Rob Van Dam had an awful card. In fact, he's not really ever been represented quite that well. Ric Flair, again, OP charisma as hell, one of the best cards. He was introduced quite late into Survivor tier as well. Roman Reigns. Oh, yes. I never pro'd this card. At the beginning of the Fusions in Season 1, you get to Survivor tier in the Fusions, and my understanding was, and Game Dad actually confirmed it in a tweet, and then since then they changed it. When the Fusions first came out, the idea of the chamber was to basically give you every type of Fusion Pro, and then it would turn random. Then they changed everything, and they made it not that way, just as I was about to get a full set of Fusion Pros, and I never managed to pro Roman Reigns. It was an ongoing joke in the community for ages, and Edward constantly made light of it. Roman Reigns over here as well. This card I loved. I loved this card in Season 1. So yeah, basically, if there's one card I wish I could bring over, it's this and the WrestleMania Fusion Triple H, because that image is awesome. Subject to cards I wouldn't want to transfer over, and I'd love to speak to the person who did. That Ryback again, oh my word, he just doesn't take a good picture, I think, ever. And it's one in WrestleMania tier that looks awful as well. This Seth Rollins, one of my favourite designs I've seen on a Survivor card, looks absolutely awesome with that Money in the Bank briefcase. Shawn Michaels, not the best card in terms of image, but actually I think the second or third best card in the tier. Absolutely incredible. Sheamus was my Rusev of Survivor Tier this time. Oh my god, I pulled this guy about 8 to 10 times. And I think he was at the RTG reward at least more than once. One I really wished that I brought across was this Sting card. There's the first RTG card. This is my first event card, my first event pro. And honestly, if it hadn't been for the RTG glitch, I probably wouldn't have been doing this right now. Because it was only because of the RTG glitch in the first one when it made every game super easy that I was able to get this card. And basically I got it and I went absolutely wild of it. I started going to King of the Rings with fully pro'd, like everyone does when they first get their first event pro. They're like, yeah, I want to see the stats, and I absolutely killed it. But I believe on day 2 they fixed the difficulty, and I'd finished it just before they changed the difficulty across. So I was very lucky on that regard. American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Nowadays he has great cards, probably because he passed on now, so they want to remember him. But back in this tier, oh my god, he was awful. He's one of the worst cards in the tier. The Miz, that's an image I want so bad. That is such a cocky image and a great image from The Miz. The Rock's event card, you can see it in season 1 and season 2 as well. A lot of people have it on the Rock event card. Tito Santana. This was a great PCC between Mr. Perfect and Tito Santana. There's only a few people actually got this, but if they ever release a Tito Santana event card, I hope some people have actually pulled it across. Maybe even Tito Santana Fusions. He was a very popular card because his speed was just absolutely incredible. Again, Undertaker, this is a very popular card in Season 2 now. Yokozuna as well, I actually had him as well. I got him mid-Survivor tier. Triple H as well. I got a pro of him, although his stats weren't brilliant. He had a lot in pretty much everything, but he had terrible speed. Good in power, good in toughness, awful in speed, and great in charisma. Still don't understand why I did that. So now we're going to move over into WrestleMania tier. Now this is obviously the last tier of Season 1, and I would imagine we will have this the week before or the week after WrestleMania. I've actually worked out the timescales. I actually believe it's going to be, I think I said in the previous video, it'll either come out the week of the 22nd of March or it'll come out the week of the 5th of April, which will be either just after WrestleMania or just before WrestleMania. So Bray Wyatt are probably one of the better cards of the WrestleMania tier. I just love the design of WrestleMania tier. I thought it was awesome. Brock Lesnar, this card, again, I might link the video into the description. If not, it will be actually showing up in the videos where I silver starred my Brock Lesnar. I got a lot of heat for that because I didn't need him in my deck. He was only going to be very briefly in my deck, and I didn't go for the previous or the one afterwards, which is a Ziggler card. Yeah, basically the event cards at that point just weren't worth it for me. So I got the ones that were good, and I think Brock was the last RTG, I think, or Road to Glory. This Brock Lesnar, though, has a lot of memories for me. I love this Brock Lesnar card. It's a shame I had to train it away for that PCC run. But yeah, this card was my first ever PCC Pro. Daniel Bryan with his title. I've never seen a Daniel Bryan card with this title on it. So if anyone does have it, link to me into Twitter because I'd love to see it. Because I think this is one of Daniel Bryan's best images before he then got that injury, which he still hasn't come back from. One of the worst designs of WrestleMania tier, Daniel Bryan. Just the Photoshop job they've done, that is awful. Dean Ambrose, one of my favourite cards. Dolph Ziggler was an event card. Never got a WrestleMania Dolph, which is quite surprising. Edge as well was one of my favourite WrestleMania designs. This Eddie Guerrero card was my favourite. It's actually my second WrestleMania Pro card. Again, really, really happy with this. This card just is, for me, a quite emotional card because this is the last picture I think he had taken of him. And the picture they actually used of him on the t-shirts that were for his memorial when he passed away. So yeah, that's one of my favourite WrestleMania cards. On top of that, he also had an incredible amount of speed and actually one of the top 10 cards. He was the best left arrow, I think, other than one other card maybe. I'm not sure exactly which one would have been better, but I'm pretty sure he was the best left arrow in the game. He had the Hulk Hogan, the Hulk Hogan card from Season 1. You can't transfer that over for obvious reasons. Jack Swagger was another pro that I had. One of the best images over here. This John Cena, which is from my my #1 PCC attempt, which I was actually successful in doing, and that had some incredible stats in power and charisma, but nothing else. This is my Team UK John Cena, which I haven't transferred across, but I've kept. And this John Cena was one of the best design cards, I think, of the actual game in total. They should do more like this, where they've got individual designs that for certain pay-per-views. This was a very, very special card. And then you got the John Cena for WrestleMania tier. You got this Kane card, which is, to me, I love the design, but why Kane? It was an abomination. It was not the, and this is where the glitch started up, where people could make the RTG games really easy by making a glitch, which they eventually fixed, and they stopped being able to do it. But yeah, this card was pretty much where all the problems began, and the RTG also became stupidly easy all of a sudden, which they fixed in Season 2, but it's actually turning that way now. It's getting to the point where the game is becoming a little bit too easy. Kevin Owens is just a randomly surprise. I think Brad actually had a big say in this card coming, given he only just debuted in WWE, and then this also involved Neville getting a card as well. Lita, my first WrestleMania Fusion Diva. This card was incredible. Not great in power, but great in everything else, and pretty much wiped the floor of AJ Lee, who was the other one. Matchman Randy Savage, which I brought over. Love this card. You've also got some of the Divas, Mark Henry down there. Natalia, my first WrestleMania Diva Pro. Finally, the Nikki Bella, where I screamed like a little girl over. That's crazy. The Paige, which I literally busted my ass open for. This, again, if I can link it into the details, I will do. If not, it'll go into the description. Was the Page PCC, where we had to get a stupid amount of points to be able to get the card. The Roman Reigns card no one wanted, that had a speed and charisma proc. Yep, there was a Roman Reigns card that had a speed and charisma proc. Yeah, you just tell me why that happened. Look at this. I love this design. I wasn't a fan of the Sami Zayn card because the stats were just a bit too even. It did help a lot in King of the Rings, but that Sami Zayn card, I loved the background and the design of the WWE Championship. I just thought it looked really awesome. They've not really brought it back. They've just focused on RTG and PCC. Again, that'd be great. Seth Rollins had an event card as well, which I thought was better than the John Cena one, but he lost to John Cena, which was a shame. You had the WWE title, Seth Rollins, which if you transfer across, it actually looks a hell of a lot better in Season 2 than it does in Season 1. Which card I desperately want to transfer over, especially if they make a Triple H event card. That'd be incredible if that was ever transferred over. Brings us to the end of this video, which is looking at WrestleMania Undertaker, which is the end of Season 1. And this card, basically, people got it, people were happy, they're thinking, yeah, we're going to get a new tier, we're going to get new cards, because we've been 5 or 6 weeks, and then Season 2 happened, and all you got to do is just go back in time and see the reaction that got. People got an amazing Undertaker card that was ridiculously overpowered, and then the game just kind of went on them. Big shout out to one other card in particular. We had actually the Undertaker and Yokozuna over here for the rest of the WrestleMania cards. This one, let's go back. This card. This is a pain in the ass. In this tier, it's not so much of a pain in the ass, but in WrestleMania tier, this card was a nightmare. This Freddie Blassie used to win people everything. If you had it, you were awesome, and you pretty much didn't lose. If you didn't have it, and there was a King of the Ring strategy I actually built around this card, which pretty much was, well, I didn't really lose with it. The second thing is, if you didn't have it, then you were kind of screwed. So anyway, that's it from me, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I thought that it was a time to actually look back at Season 1, given that we're going to be getting potentially some fusion cards or something in the near future, which is going to change the game. Let me know what you think of what your best Season 1 cards were for each tier in the comment section below. Or if you didn't play Season 1, what were your favourite cards and what you saw from this video? What do you think about the inclusion of fusions? Let me know again in the comment section. Don't forget to drop a like on the video if you like what you saw and want to see more WWE SuperCard content. And also hit the subscribe button, which is literally simple. Just put in the elbow on there. And then that's it from me. Thanks for watching. And yeah, catch you later, guys. So leave!